The Colbinabbin line was a 42-kilometer branch line coming off the Goulburn Valley main line at Murchison East. I was really scraping the bottom of the barrel for information about this one, but as always, I will cover the Colbinabbin line's history, closure, accidents, rolling stock, some stations along the line, where it is today, and will services resume. History. The line coming off Murchison East was opened on the 1st of September 1890. It was constructed by Victorian Railways, and at first went a measly 4 stations, 20 kilometers, before coming to a halt at the town of Rushworth. This would be the start of the Colbinabbin line. The second stage of the line was constructed 24 years later, in 1914, when the line was extended another 3 stations to the line's namesake, Colbinabbin. The line was primarily built to serve the grain industries in the area, which seems to be a running trend in Victoria's forgotten rail lines. But the line did also provide general goods and a mode of transport to the surrounding towns. In 1917, 3 years after the Colbinabbin extension, a branch line was built off of Rushworth to the town of Giagari. In 1924, a train from Colbinabbin combined with another train from Giagari to create a 1,300-strong passenger service to Flinders Street, also known as the Rushworth Great Picnic Train. The train was the longest train hauled by 2 engines officials had ever seen. The line gradually lost stations over the years, losing 2 stations in between Murchison and Rushworth in 1955, losing another 2 stations in between Rushworth and Colbinabbin in 1977, and unfortunately, as part of the Bland Report, the line with the remaining stations were closed in 1987. Accidents. Rushworth, January 28, 1929. A local haul mixed train to Giagari failed at Rushworth for unknown reasons. Rolling stock. Rolling stock used when the line just opened would most likely have been defreeze or other pre-20th century locos. Then the K-classes would operate the line. Here is an image of K184 at Giagari. Not Colbinabbin, but it's close enough. Post-Operation Phoenix, J-classes would share the line with T-classes. When the line was about to close, the overabundance of Y-classes took over as prime horsepower. Some stations along the line. Murchison. Opened on the 1st of September 1890, the station was built to serve the town of Murchison, now served by Murchison East. The station swapped from caretaker in charge to man in charge in 1904, when the caretaker was back in business. In 1941, the dead-end siding at the up end of the station was removed, and in 1975, no one was in charge. The station then closed on the 12th of October 1987. Rushworth. Opened on the 1st of September 1890, the station was opened as the terminus of the line, which is why the Colbinabbin line is sometimes referred to as the Rushworth line. In 1913, Road 2 was constructed. In 1914, Rushworth was no longer the terminus. 3 years later, another line was constructed to Giagari, which used the staff and ticket signaling system, just like Colbinabbin. In 1963, Road 2 was closed, and in 1967, the locomotive road was closed. In 1961, road number 3 was closed, leaving only 1 track through the station, and the station closed to all traffic in 1987. Colbinabbin. Colbinabbin is the terminus of the line, and is the furthest the line has ever gotten, but a theory I have is the line was going to be extended to the Deniliquin, now Echuca line, either to Gornong or Elmore. But this has literally no merit because the Colbinabbin line was extended in 1914, while the Toowoomba to Echuca line was opened in 1880. So the extension would be redundant. In 1920, a station master was provided at the station. In 1924, the dead-end siding at the end of Road 1 was shortened to just 200 feet, In 1948, the passenger service concluded. In 1952, the station master was booted out, and the caretaker was now in charge of the station. In 1967, Rushworth to Colbinabbin staff and ticket signaling system was abolished, with a new staff and ticket from Rushworth to Colbinabbin to Girgari. In 1979, the caretaker was no longer a caretaker, and they were out of a job. And finally, in 1987, the station closed. Where is it today? The line today is more or less gone. Aside from a good shed at Rushworth, and grain silos at Colbinabbin and Rushworth, and some abandoned trackage here and there, nothing really remains. However, 2 sections of the line have been turned into a rail trail. The Murchison to Rushworth rail trail is a 10-kilometer rail trail from Murchison to Waranga. Then the trail ends for 4 kilometers, before starting up again for another 2 kilometers into town, Rushworth. Honestly, at its current state, I don't think the trail is really worth traveling on, but V-Line makes it super easy to travel on it. Will services resume? No. Only 2 towns with some sort of population. Murchison is technically already served by rail, 0 infrastructure reusable, no real need for freight use, and if Cobram ain't happening, Colbinabbin ain't happening anytime soon. Unless a home situation happens. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video about the Colbinabbin line. If you have any suggestions on what line I should do next, then leave a comment below. If not, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.